Not great.
I just trained like Magnus Midtbø for 30 days. I'm normally a 7A climber, but I tested myself on an 8A to see how well I would do. The training was effective, but it was also so hard that I came very close to an overuse injury. And towards the end, I also received some pretty bad news, so it's been a crazy couple of weeks for me. Before I started the training program, I did a physical assessment as well as a 6B climb as a benchmark. I also did a self-evaluation. Then I did Magnus's 4 exercises. Power training by speed campusing on an 8-move boulder, strength training by doing lock-offs on an 8-move boulder, power endurance by doing as many moves as possible within 2 minutes on the circuit, and aerobic endurance by doing some really easy climbing for 30 minutes straight. After this, I had a deload week with more rest and some easy climbing. And then I redid the physical assessment, the self-evaluation and the benchmark climb to measure progress. I trained power and strength in the same session twice a week. The campusing turned out to be very hard for me. I was going very slow and I came close to injuring my shoulder. Clearly, I lacked some stability, so I've learned I need to strengthen my shoulder. The improvement was significant though. In the 4th week, I was campusing 60% faster. The lock-off training was a lot of fun. Actually, the only fun I had during the entire training. It was a great exercise to create more body tension. But finding the right difficulty boulder was a bit tricky. I trained power endurance twice a week. I think this training really helped me most because I'm a boulderer and I have terrible endurance. On this wide circuit, I used to be able to barely climb half a round. Now I can climb almost 2 full rounds. This is partially because my endurance improved, but also I learned to climb faster. Now here's the bad news. In the last week of training, I crashed hard. I was tired all day, I had horrible training sessions, and I even had some trouble concentrating at work. I found some articles saying that power endurance training can fatigue the nervous system, and they recommend training it for 2 weeks in a row at most. Now I know why. Finally, the aerobic endurance exercise. Magnus tries to spend 30 minutes on the wall, and I think that's a great way of finding rest positions. However, my climbing gym is way too crowded, so I had to do this at home. I kept my feet on the ground and I just moved around on the campus board. I varied grip positions, but other than that, this was very boring. The physical assessment showed I made huge improvements. I used to be able to do 12 pull-ups. Now I can do 15. My max hang time on the 20mm edge went from 28 seconds to 33. And 7-3 repeaters improved from 117 seconds to 155. I heard before that endurance is something that you can improve quite quickly, but I was still blown away by these results. I also tested strength and power. My fingers got a tiny bit stronger. My 10-second max hang went from 19 kilos to 20. And my max weighted pull-ups went from 34 kilos to 38. As expected, power takes longer to develop, but I'm still really impressed by these results. Physical improvement is great, but how does it translate to actual climbing? First of all, I have to say that at this point, I wasn't doing great mentally. I'll explain why later. But my mental state really showed on the self-evaluation. Despite being strong physically, I was not focused and I felt like I did much better the first time I tried the 6B. I did climb a little bit faster though, so that's pretty nice. But other than that, the 2 attempts looked pretty similar on video. Again, I've made huge gains, but I don't recommend this training for anyone. On top of the pain in the shoulder, my forearms would also start to hurt because of overuse of the FDP muscle. That's another sign that I was overtraining. Also, unless you're like Magnus Midtbø and you enjoy being in pain, this type of training requires a lot of discipline to keep up because it's so boring. I really recommend you try something more enjoyable instead. So, what do I recommend? Well, I'm no coach, but I'd recommend starting off with your goals. What is it that you actually want to achieve? In my case, I actually want to focus on technique. So this whole training schedule didn't make any sense for me. And I should have picked something that focuses on technique drills. I also reached out to Mercedes Polmeijer. She's a climbing coach and she makes great videos on her YouTube channel. I discussed the training plan and results with her. She asked me some questions that I didn't think of myself. Like, how did I feel day to day? How did I sleep? How did I eat? And at this point I realized that I felt so energetic during the first few weeks of training that I didn't sleep at night. Apparently the training was so intense that it threw off my sleep cycle. And through this whole conversation, I realized how valuable it is to have a good coach in your corner. Okay, it's time for my attempt of the 8A, but there's something that you should know first. I'm going to try an 8A now. Now, I've never done an 8A, nothing close to an 8A, and I don't think I will do it. I'm just going to see how far I get. Mentally, I'm not doing great at the moment. I just heard from the doctor that my hips are totally messed up, and he strongly recommended I quit climbing altogether. So I'm going to do my best, but my best just isn't anywhere close to 100% right now. But physically, I should be strong enough to at least do some moves. So let's see how that goes.
How are you feeling about the climb?
Intimidated, weak. Let's see.
Come on, Amir, come on. Come on, Amir, hold it. Ale. Come on. Come on, Amir.
Ah, fuck.
Ale, come on. Go for it.
I hurt my hip. So it's too hard for me. And I can't do the techniques because my hips hurt. So if I want to try something like this, I'll need to get a lot stronger.
Right.
Can't do it with fancy drop knees.
Yeah.
Hurts too much.
Okay, so now you know what you got to do, right? Become a beast on the upper body.
More campusing.
Basically, you need to become Magnus. Right?
Next time, I really hope I'm going to do a training schedule that's actually fun. Looking forward to that. Maybe the Kung Fu one.
Yeah.
Let's see. That might be a cool idea.
Everybody does Kung Fu.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do lots of, what is it? Like,
the crane.
okay.
No.
Maybe that's not so much fun.
Remember what Olava said? Don't do it instantly.
Okay, but maybe that'll be the next challenge. We'll see. The Magnus Midtbø definitely helped, but I need to get a whole lot stronger before I can do anything this hard.
Yeah.